This is Kat with Killer Tendencies Apparel. We're starting a vlog with my best friend Sarah Spalding, also known as the Napalm Strength Coach. She lives out in St. Louis. And we're going to start a blog about fitness, martial arts, or anything that sparks our interest, really. If you guys have any questions, you guys could send them to our Instagram or our Facebook. You could even email us at killertendencies@gmail.com. So we're going to talk about nutrition, how much water you should drink, fitness questions in general. So anyways, let's get right down to it. So, hey Sarah, what are your credentials?
Hi, Trina. So I have been a personal trainer for 9 years now. My first and foremost credential is I lost 80 pounds and have kept it off. So I've been there, done that also. I am weightlifting coach certified through Olympic Lifting USAW. I am functional movement specialist certified. I am youth fitness specialist certified. I did a stint as a licensed soccer coach. Training for Warriors certified through Martin Rooney. I'm sure there's more. Kettlebell athletics, kettlebell coach certified through Jason Brown. And smart group training certified through Smart Group Training.
Yay! So many credentials.
There might be one or two more. I don't even remember them all. But yeah, those things.
That's a lot of learning that you've done. And I don't think a lot of people know what FMS, the Function Movement Specialist, is. So can you kind of explain that to people so they understand that that's different between like actual personal training and this is function movement? Can you explain that a little bit better?
Yeah, sweet. Good call. So functional movement systems, FMS, is used in the NFL combines. And a lot of pro sports use it. It's been used in NHL, NBA, and basically what it is it's just a simple movement assessment for personal trainers to be able to look at you and know what exercises will hurt you and be able to give you exercises that will help you. And what this does is it kind of helps eliminate your weaknesses, which helps energy leaks, which means you'll produce more power with less effort. It also can help prevent future injury. So help keeping you more durable because we screen you all the time. It's not a one-time deal. We do it monthly and write your programs based on it. And it's a great overall thing that us as personal trainers can do without getting too heavy deep into medical problems. Because also if you have an injury, it lets us know what to avoid to make it worse. So it's super cool program. We use that for all of our fighters as the basis of programming. And there's even more in-depth assessments that we have access to if necessary.
That's awesome. Well, I know with martial arts, there's a lot of injuries. You know that I have a bad knee, and you work with me, and that's why I think it's awesome that you're FMS certified because it doesn't injure me anymore. I can still work out with you and still lose weight and still try to become a better athlete. So that's awesome. So, what got you interested in fitness in the first place?
So I was like 19 years old. I was 230 pounds. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, and I was kind of like, well, what the hell am I doing? So I just started walking, and it was pretty bad because I kind of lived out of a vending machine and out of drive-thrus. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure I worked at McDonald's and UPS at the time. So I was like just around bad food all the time.
Yeah.
And when I got diagnosed with high blood pressure, I was like, holy shit. Yes. I was like, I gotta figure something out. I'm way too young for this. So. Yeah. I didn't know anything about anything. I just knew I needed to move and I needed to not eat crap. Like this was the very basics of the beginnings of my fitness career. So I went for a walk 45 minutes a day, something to do, throwing some headphones. I was moving, and then I ate pretty much steak and spinach for like 3 times a day because I literally didn't know what else I could eat that was like good for me. You know?
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then as it kind of went on, I ran into people here and there that would show me some things. And, I met a workout buddy that we're still workout buddies. And this has been like 12 years running of a workout buddy, so it's I kind of picked up things here and there until I got into personal training as a career.
And when did you get into personal training? Because you worked at Complete Fitness Results, correct?
Yes. So how I started was I worked at, I was a vet tech for 10 years, or 8 years. I was in the animal field for a total of a decade, and I was at animal control. and I looked for a personal trainer because I had put on like another, put on some of that weight back, and I didn't want it back. I didn't want it to get out of control again.
Yeah.
So I looked for a personal trainer, and I found Steve Long, Complete Fitness Results, and we kind of had a trade-off because I was broke. So I was like, I'll clean the gym, because he got rent off the gym. I was like, I'll clean the gym if you help me out and get me to lose weight. And so we kind of worked together, and that's where it started. And I had worked at that gym for 5-6 years and then moved to Utah.
Yes. And when you moved to Utah, is that when you really got interested in martial arts, or were you kind of interested in martial arts before you moved to Utah?
So that's a good question. So when I was little, I was like in third grade, I took judo for 3 months. And that was cool because I learned that I could throw a human that was way bigger than me. So that was neat. That was my first experience. Yep. I was like, cool. Good job, people. So that was my first experience, and I enjoyed it. But for whatever reason, we moved or something, I couldn't keep going. And then after I had lost most of my weight, I encountered a human that had done capoeira for long time, over a decade.
Wow.
Was super ninja in my eyes. Like, he was totally killer, flipping, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I thought it was the awesomest thing ever. And he started teaching me and another guy. And so couple hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week, as many times as we could get together, we were doing capoeira for a good 2 or 3 years. And then just everybody kind of lost touch, moving and jobs and stuff. And right about that time is when I found my workout buddy that I had previously mentioned, and then we continued on. And up until the point I met Steve and became a personal trainer. So that was my beginning in martial arts. And then when I went to Utah is when it got thick. So my dad does Kung Fu.
Your dad is a scary man because he's what? For if you guys don't know, Sarah's dad, he's like 6'6", right? And he's just a big, scary man. And he does Kung Fu, so you're like, but he's super nice. So
yeah, like super nice human being. Very scary. So when I moved to Utah, I got into Kung Fu and then Jiu-Jitsu, where I met you, and a little bit of Muay Thai, and then I had found a capoeira master in Salt Lake and started hitting up capoeira again, and kind of been Jiu-Jitsu and capoeira ever since.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu's the best. So, how do you join fitness and martial arts together? Because I know with personal training, you turn some of your classes and stuff into a martial arts training for Unbroken Circle. So how does that exactly work?
So I like to, and I feel like there's an unfortunate void in the martial arts industry as far as strength and conditioning, because like in my brain, it's half and half, like half technique, half strength. Like if you're weaker in technique, if you got better strength, you have that edge. You might win that one. You got to have your backup plan, and they're each kind of a backup plan for each other. So that's kind of been my thing, and then I try to like meld that together. So a lot of programs, they don't. It's kind of like your body is a kindergartner, for lack of a better way to explain it, and you're trying to teach it. You're trying to teach it to read, and by reading, you want it to be peak performance. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to get to the certain place, and a lot of people don't learn the correct words, to get the reading done. So it's like bodybuilding workouts, your body's not going to learn to fight in a cage from that. That's for that sport. Yeah. And it kind of, it contributes to injuries because you're not training for the sport. So I always try to think about this as well as like pacing. So a lot of people do running for their cardio, and then when I do my things, I try to pace it. So our cardio is body weight exercises, super fast, but it's to the timing of your fight. So if you got a championship fight, we'll do 5-minute rounds. So you get used to putting out 100%, 5 minutes at a time for this amount of time
instead of running and running and running. Yeah.
Right, and you're coasting at 60% for an hour. Your body's going to be like, what? So it's like I try to move these things in here. I also try to think about movement. So like I try to, like weighted bear crawls. So like putting a weight vest on someone and bear crawling like so closely mimics jujitsu. You're like carrying a human in that position a lot of times, Think about guard. If you want to push someone, like you're going to be in the bear position a lot. So it's like I try to use the strength and conditioning that will translate into ass whoopings.
Exactly, like with the punching with the rubber bands, like that definitely helps with the movement. So
Straight up, yeah, locks in those little muscles because we're not. One thing too, like a lot of people use their sparring is strength and conditioning, but it's like your brain functions different when fists are flying at it. You know, like you can't really focus so much
everyone has a
on
plan
like
until they get punched in the face.
I'm saying. So it's like that's not ideally the place to learn to teach your muscles how to move correctly. You want to do it in the gym where you're not getting punched in the face and you can really lock it in. And that band punch exercise is a great example because you want to hold it for a second in a good form so that you just melt into it every time you throw that punch.
Definitely. Well, I remember training Infernal. One of our teammates, Tony, he had his hips were locked up, and you helped him unlock his hips. Can you? You said a lot of people have issues with locked up hips in jujitsu, right? And that's something that you also help with is unlocking hips and shoulders.
Straight up. Mobility is paramount, but it's more of a, you see it a lot in just men in general, and this is super general, okay? So don't pick me apart, everybody. It's super general. Women in general are weaker and more mobile, okay? And then men in general are stronger and way less mobile. So usually with women, it's a strength training in good form kind of thing, and with men, they're usually strong enough, they just don't move right because they're tight. So it's unlocking that tightness, and you unlock all the strength in the world. It's just really hard to use things when the gears are gummed up. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
Tony was a good one because I remember one day he walks in the gym and he's like, Sarah, and I was like, what? He's like, I head kicked somebody, and we were like,
Yeah, good job,
yay!
Tony.
Yeah, so that was a good day. I remember this well. It was awesome.
Yeah, you helped everyone at our gym increase their strength, their speed, their mobility. Their weight cuts were better. They weren't tired after weight cuts. All right, guys, that's all we're going to talk about today with fitness and martial arts. If you guys have any questions, you guys could send them to our Instagram at Killer C's Instagram and at our Facebook page. You could also email us at killertendencies at gmail.com at gmail.com, and that's all.